Hi, everybody. Scott Riley, the Market Update Desk, NMLS number 157524. This is an incredibly important day, specifically here at the Market Update Desk, because pitchers and catchers report for spring training today. Baseball season is officially on the clock. Thank goodness. We're getting some sun outside, and I heard rumors of 45 to 50 degrees next week. If you're not in the market looking right now for homes, you're going to be behind the ball. Let us help you with that. So, coming out today, we had shockingly a bill go through the House with overwhelming bipartisan support. In fact, it was 390 to 9. We never get that specifically in the House. So it's kind of interesting. So, what that was is the bill to look to make housing more affordable. Specifically, the bill includes numerous provisions, including cutting housing and environmental regulations around construction of homes. Local communities could get grants to make it easier for builders by offering pre-reviewed housing designs, streamlining construction, and or housing. The Department of Housing and Urban Development would also develop a best practice for communities for zoning guidelines and regulations. That's a big thing because there's a menagerie of different zoning guidelines, processes, costs, and timeframes within all the municipalities across the country. Time is money, so the quicker a developer can start a project to finish it, their carry cost is less. That equals a better priced home. Now, definitions around manufactured and modular homes would also be updated to encourage more factory built homes, which can be constructed in a fraction of the time compared to more traditional on site building methods. Factory built homes, many times, also can have better quality control because of the lack of concern for environmental weather impact during the construction period. In a couple things from the New York Fed today, consumer credit card debt tops a staggering $1.28 trillion. That's just a massive number. And approximately 60% of card holders are carrying balances from one month to another month. That could be at rates anywhere from, call it 16% to 30%. So the carry costs on that are having significant impacts on disposable income and budget processes. When the economists look at this is consistent to what is called a K-shaped economic divide, meaning the top part are carrying the spending while the bottom are just scraping to get by. Now, in retail sales, this is what helped us a lot in the market with mortgage rates today. Retail sales were flat on the month. Now, that's following a November increase of 0.6%. According to numbers adjusted for seasonality but not inflation. Economists had expected an increase of 0.4, excluding autos. Sales were also unchanged against an estimate of a 0.3 increase. November sales ex autos were up 3.3% annually in December, a measure known as the control group. Is a very important section of it. So that excludes a number of items and feeds directly into the GDP calculation. A 0.1 drop of the month. Miscellaneous retailers and furniture stores posted the biggest drop of just shy of 1%, 0.9%, while clothing and accessory stores were off 0.7. Electronics and appliances saw a drop of 0.4. Online outlets saw a rise of 0.1 in sales. Building materials and garden centers saw the strongest at up 1.2%. That must be in the warmer areas as opposed to the north with the garden centers. So you can see this big divide on what's moving the economy. But this is an implication that we may not get the GDP numbers that other data had been giving us. In fact, later today, the Atlanta Fed is going to give their weekly GDP tracker. So we're very anxious to see what that is going to be. They had been rising their expectations of GDP. Guess is it's going to be lowered now with this new data. In the stock market, the Dow popped over 50,000 Did pull back just a little bit. We're seeing today that Google's parent Alphabet is preparing a massive $30 billion bond sale, corporate bond sale. That's just a staggering number. In fact, some of those maturities are going to be 100-year maturities. The market's going to be very interesting to watch on how they accept a 100-year maturity. We've seen them in the past on different companies, but you got to forecast out that companies will be around for 100 years. Obviously, right now we think Google will be, but we look back 100 years ago, Google wasn't even a thought. So lots of information coming out there. The 10-year Treasury, we're getting a lot of benefit today. In fact, it's down 4.5%, 4.5 basis points on the yield. That's down to 4.153%. That has also correspondingly brought up mortgage-backed securities by 20 basis points. Great news for mortgage rates. Now, the important thing that the week is still waiting on is tomorrow's delayed BLS non-farms payroll jobs report. So we're probably going to be neutral from where we are right now until we get that tomorrow. We're keeping on top of everything. We've got a couple offers out there for customers. We're on the phones trying to help their offers get accepted, talking with listing agents and their buyer representative on how to best structure transactions and help get the seller to accept the offer. It is very competitive. So getting out in the market now, while it's snowy and cold, is going to be better than when you're seeing green grass. Give us a call. We'll break down the numbers for you, look at programs, and help you out. 616-293-2189. The Market Update Desk with Scott Riley, your original singular market news source for West Michigan. Thanks so much, everybody.